Let me ask you a question about exercise, because you're fit. You talk about how healthy you are, God willing, as we say. How do you stay so fit and energetic? Because you are full of energy.
Well, so many people, they get up in the morning and say, I'm going to the gym. They're trying to impress me. I'm going to the gym. I'm going to work out. I say, if you just get up off your ass every day instead of sitting in front of that television, and sitting at that table eating those 3 meals a day, just get up and do something. It's exercise.
Okay.
So
you don't have a specific regimen. You just make sure that you're active.
I get up and I do things. I don't sit around.
Okay.
I make sure that I go out at least 6 days a week.
Okay.
I've become addicted to football in my latter years. I'll never play the game, but I watch it. I don't have any, I'm not a fan of any particular team, although I like the Kels and who's them guys out there, Andy Reid. That's my favorite team. I like it because their plays, how they play is so unpredictable, unscripted.
Okay.
So I watch football. On the way over here, I just found out that Djokovic just beat Skinner playing tennis. But now Alcaraz is waiting for him. But that's another story. But I get out every day and I do something.
So you do something yourself, but you don't play tennis yourself. You don't play.
I used to play tennis, but you have to have a partner who to play with. So I don't have a tennis partner who plays tennis, so I don't play that. Plus, I don't have the stamina anymore to do 3 sets. I'm lucky if I can make it through 3 games now. In fact, I probably can't. So I've been bowling a lot.
Oh, that's right. We were talking about your bowling.
I like
so bowling
water.
is exercise, that's for sure. Picking up a 16-pound ball or a 14-pound ball and throwing it.
Yes.
Takes a lot. You got to have the shoulder strength, the torso strength. Absolutely.
And water is one of my favorite activities. I don't swim as much as I used to, but I have the access to it. As we sit here now, I'm looking at the Atlantic Ocean, and there's pools in my development. When I downsized, I got rid of my home with the large pool and all of that because that was work. It kept me from traveling. But I can go swimming anytime I want, day or night.
Mm-hmm. There's a myth that people get grumpier as they get older. And I haven't found that. I actually haven't found a lot of grumpy people that are older or get grumpier. There are a few. The psychology research doesn't bear that out. I was wondering what your take is on that, whether you think that that's part of what we do as we age, people get grumpier, or if you think that's also
I think people are grumpy because they have regrets. They have regrets. My mother passed away when I was 15. My grandmother and my great-grandmother, they relocated back from Jersey, gave up their lives over there. Not so much gave it up, but they didn't want to take me away from New York City and to where they were. They wanted to keep me in my environment with my friends. So I've always been around older people. Mm-hmm. My grandmother, my great-grandmother. I had this job in a grocery store when I was in high school, and the 2 people, Agnes and James Burns, I worked in their store, and they taught me how to deal with people. I could say certain things to you in a certain way, but somebody else might have a different personality. So I learned how to approach people with different ways, which helped me in my managerial career. When you're working, I had probably maybe, let's say, 30,000 or more people that, as a superintendent underneath me.
Wow.
Not that I talk to 30,000 people, because I like to delegate when it comes to work.
Sure. You had to in that kind of situation. Yes. You'd have to.
But you learn different personalities and how to get people to do things. What they call it, Psych 101 or whatever. Mm-hmm. To get people to do things, and they don't realize that you're getting them to do it.
But how do you deal with grumpiness as older people get? You said your grandmother, you mentioned.
My grandmother wasn't grumpy at all.
Yeah, so you don't think that we have to necessarily get grumpy as we get older, but if we have a lot of regrets, that may contribute to it.
We're not usually grumpy, but that last motel we stayed in made us both pretty cranky. We stayed in a motel where the mattress was so old and soft, We ended up sleeping in the middle, face to face, unable to move, scrunched up like this. Like sleeping in a hard taco, and hubby was the old sour cream.
Do you have any last thoughts that you'd like to impart about how we should continue to smile and be joyous and happy as we get older?
Well, as I look at this world today and I see all the things that are going on, and like I say, if you pay attention to all the negative stuff, it kind of drags you down. And that's why I don't watch too much news. I watch the headlines, but I don't get into the weeds of what's going on. When I get up in the morning, I want to know what the weather is, what highways are open and closed, or the construction, so that I can get around, because I know I'm going to be out doing things. But what was the question?
Any last thoughts on how we can keep people, allow the audience to think about ways that'll contribute to the joyous, happy way that you live your life? You're really doing it well, and you can impart wisdom to other people. What would you say is the best?
In my life, I like to fix the small problems in your life, no matter what it is. Because if you don't take care of the small problems, they grow into larger problems. It's like building a house. It's one brick at a time. It's like education. I didn't go to college until after I came out of the service. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't prepared, and I knew that. But after I came out of the military, I was more focused on that I needed more education. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed more education. And you just have to pay attention to the important things in life. There's so many, other things that, you can do without. And you have a choice in life. You have a choice, and there's always consequences too. So think about that too. Try to make good choices, and don't be afraid. Well, I'm not afraid to do things. Some people have fear. I have concern. I watch my adjectives. I'm concerned about things, but I don't fear anything.
That's a great way to wrap this up, because quite honestly, I would say that is a good way to describe you. You are smart. You are educated. You are very put together, and you are not afraid to try new things and not afraid to live life to the fullest. Correct?
Sounds pretty good.
I love it. Thank you so much, Harold. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for another surprising morning, Dr. R.